March 31st, 2022. This is a follow-up to the Chief of Police of Takoma Park, Maryland, who stated, as you see all this trash, who stated that he went and made an agreement with the park police to do the job that the taxpayers are paying him to do. This strip of land is in the jurisdiction of Takoma Park Police Department. And the chief commented on one of my YouTube channels and stated that he or his administration made an agreement with the park people to patrol this area of Takoma Park, Maryland, because it was so close to the tree line of Sligo Conservation Neighborhood Park. When does servants make agreements to do a job the taxpayers are paying them to do? They've made an agreement with Prince George's County to patrol New Hampshire Avenue. Now they made an agreement to get the park people to come and patrol and enforce the laws on this strip of land and this dead-end street of Sligo Mill Road. This is their Takoma Park billboard, but they want the park people to come down here and enforce the laws on this dead-end street because they are not qualified to do the job or not be able to handle the job of catching individuals dumping on this dead-end street and in this park. Now, the chief likes to make a lot of excuses why his officers can't do their jobs. Okay? The park people don't have enough officers to cover the whole Montgomery County area. So why is it that he has 5 or 6 officers who can come to a gas station when they call, but he can't get them to come down here and patrol this area here and catch people who dump trash? As you look at the comment he made and the email he put up saying that he spoke to the park people. It's not the park people to do your job, chief. The taxpayers are paying you to do a job, and if you can't do the job, turn your badge in along with the rest of your group that don't know how to do police work. You have some officers in there that are worthy to be law enforcement people. Then you have a group of individuals that are the pieces of shit. And I'll tell them to their face, they pieces of shit. They don't need to wear the badge or the patch representing anybody because they're pieces of shit. They're not even worth wiping. How in the world do citizens let individuals that you're paying agree to let another agency patrol and enforce the laws when you're paying them to do that? And that is what is going on right now in Takoma Park on this dead-end street of Sligo Mill Road. The tree line and back is the park's jurisdiction. From the tree line to this blacktop is Takoma's Park, and on that side is Takoma's Park. But Takoma Park has said through an email from their chief that they have made an agreement with the park people for them to patrol this whole area, even though they only have 2 or 3 officers to cover the whole area of Montgomery County. Does that sound logic? You have a police force that have 4 or 5 officers to ride around in one spot, and you can't even get them to come over here, but you're talking about you want 2 officers to now come and patrol something that you should be patrolling, and that the taxpayers are paying you to do a job. That don't even sound right, Chief. But that's the game you play when your officers get hemmed up on doing something they shouldn't be doing, like not giving the CCN numbers and making a report of a criminal activity, like the coward did over the weekend. And that is the problem, Chief. This whole area right here is Takoma Park's, Maryland's jurisdiction. And this is why legislators made judicial boundaries. I know what you may not know what that means, Chief, but you might want to look it up. Up in Annapolis, they made judicial boundaries. Individuals voted on it. That means that there are certain areas where law enforcement can't cross and are supposed to do a job. And they didn't say you can make agreements with other agencies to patrol the area. Taxpayers of Takoma Park, you need to really realize where your money is going. These individuals are taking your money and implementing judicial authority to other agencies that don't have it. Under the law, not one ticket back here, if it's given by the park people on this little stretch, will be valid in a courtroom, because they don't have jurisdiction to write tickets on this strip right here for illegal parking. This is the parkland. As you see, we got more trash starting to build up because Takoma Park is not enforcing anything. I guess they feel that if they drop or write a couple of tickets, that would suffice the problem back here. Not. As you see, we got trash all in the tree line because Takoma Park, derelict of duty on this street. And as I walk around this little town, there are other little parks just like this, full of trash. They're dead-end streets just like this because their law enforcement division only works for big corporations and big businesses. They had an officer come down here this morning. He just rode through here with his little red and blue lights on. Like, that's supposed to mean something. If you can't do the job, Chief, I will be glad if you turn it over to the park people. At least there'll be a real police force present down here. Turn this whole strip over, Chief. Go to Annapolis and tell them that you all wish to change the boundaries. And then the citizens of Montgomery County, you should take control of this little town of Takoma Park, Maryland. I hear the mayor of Takoma Park wishes to be a city council for Montgomery County. If you know what I know, I wouldn't vote her to be the trash pickup person. I have more respect for them than I do of this piece of garbage they have running this town here. I'm going to show you another area of Takoma Park, Maryland. They love to put up signs, but they don't enforce anything. As you see, more garbage. This is being blown off from Takoma Park. More trash. And if it wasn't for the guys in their code enforcement, this whole area would be out of control. Now I understand why code enforcement walks around with insignias on their chest saying police. All this is Takoma Park's jurisdiction. If you look at the map that the legislators in Annapolis made, the boundaries, you see they're good at trying to enforce stuff on people who don't know their rights. But when people know their rights, they get butt hurt and then they have a problem. As you see, all this garbage is in Takoma Park's property, even though it's in the tree line. Poor enforcement. Poor enforcement. That's why the volunteers of Montgomery County had to come out and clean up their park area. But they love to say they're a green town. Yeah, I know. Green money that they get from big businesses doing security work for them. So, Chief, when you make a statement like you made in your comment on my webpage, you made an agreement. An agreement, a handshake, is not law, Chief. And law is your department is supposed to patrol and enforce the law on Sligo Mill Road. Not the park people. I don't care what kind of agreement you made with them. If anybody receives a ticket on this property from a park person, it's a non-void ticket because they don't have jurisdiction to write a ticket, even though you all made an agreement. That's the same thing out on New Hampshire Avenue that you made the agreement with Prince George's County. An agreement is not law. So any ticket that a Prince George's County officer writes on the Montgomery County side or the Takoma Park side is an invalid ticket. And it's not legal and would not hold up in a courtroom. But even though there's a criminal element in the judicial system in Maryland, citizens need to know this. Each department, each county has a judicial boundary, and they can't go past that boundary. And there should be certain elements for them to cross over. And write in a ticket because your officers don't want to get off their ass and come out and do their job because you've made an agreement, or they don't want to write a report because you all made an agreement. It's not law, Chief. So to be the chief of police and you don't know that, I know you've been scamming a lot of immigrants who come into this country and don't know their rights. But that's about to change too, Chief. If you don't want to do the job, you have some good people in code enforcement, turn the police department over to there. They do a better job down here than you do, and your people do. Because I yet to understand, for so many years, people have been dumping on this road, and your people can't catch them. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you more parks. I'm going to show you how The law enforcement division of Takoma Park hides out, sits on their ass for their shift, hiding behind hotels, at 7-Elevens, at gas stations, on the taxpayers' dollar. And this is why this little strip of road gets no service, because these cowards hide out because they're scared of real criminals. And these criminals only drop garbage on a dead-end street. Stay tuned.